Hello, Watem here, welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. It has been a while for me, 3 months, actually I kind of checked a bit over 3 months, more like 3.5 months since I last recorded. In that time I was sick, had like a fever for a couple of days, but for the worst part of it I was coughing for about a month, so didn't really want to record anything filled with my coughs. Then catching up on work kept me busy, but then also having some other things on and going to some friends' weddings, and then more work to catch up on, or more stuff to catch up on, like other projects and stuff. And then, what was it? Yeah, spending time with family over the Christmas break. So, I am finally back. You at least, the last part should have come out 2 days ago. I recorded that basically, I think, the day before I got sick. So yeah, after a while I was able to, when I was feeling a bit better, I was able to edit it, but then wasn't able to record anymore, so I held off on actually publishing it. I'm not sure if I've actually even got the screenshot for it or a title name for it yet. That hasn't actually gone out yet. I'm going to record a bit of a backlog, but I'm hoping to get that out probably tomorrow. In any case, let's continue. 6 brutally murdered corpses lay in the dining hall, and it was contaminated with red gruesome decorations. Yes, let us return to brutally murdered corpses. It was now unimaginable, until just a second ago, 13 humans had been arranged here in a well-organized manner. Shinzo lined up the famous demons and their subordinates, loudly declared the beginning of a night of overwhelming mass murders, and swore to himself that he would certainly revive Beatrice and open the door to the Golden Land.
待たせたな。これにて第一の番、いよいよ開幕。
Golden Slaughterer is fitting.
金蔵め、相変わらず派手を好む男よ。付きまとわれればしつこいことこの上なき男も、舞台の上ではこれほどまでに映えるというのか。
くそ、相変わらず黒い殺し方ばかりしやがって。頭部半壊だ。
You know.
てめえら魔女ども悪魔どもの悪趣味には相変わらずうんざりさせられるぜ。
頭部半壊。なるほど。これまでのゲームで一番理想的な殺し方がこれだと気づいたわけね。
理想的
？Possibly something to do with their identification, but leaving half of it should mean that it should be the same person. It should be identifiable.
このひでえ殺し方がどう理想的だってんだ。
On the other hand, it is basically instantaneous.
実に理想的じゃない。
Hello there.
一番最初のゲームを思い出してみるといい。
I forgot about this.
お前は
got introduced last part, didn't you?
さっき登場しやがった新しい悪魔とかいうやつか。
Yeah.
くそ、また魔女の侵食が進んでろくでもないやつが増えたというわけなのか。
The more of witch's corrosion advances, the more Kojima tilts towards the spirit world. That's why strange, insane people keep appearing one by one. This island has been closed off by the typhoon, so no human can leave it, much less appear as a new character to increase their numbers. But the more the corrosion advances, the more witches and demons can appear without limit, increasing one by one by one. By now, there might be more demons than humans among the characters appearing in this insane tale. Let's have a look. No look-see. Humans. Get how many people are on the island. 4, 8, 11, 15, 14, and 5, so that brings us to 19. Let's see. Discount on 3. So we've got 7, 8. That's another 6, so that brings us to 14. The second tower count. Got 14 below here, 15, 16, 17. Not quite. Almost. Actually, wait. Check something. Make sure things appear. Yeah, they do. Okay. The numbers might be the thing that represents this mad corrosion. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. The corrosion hasn't just affected the number of people, but apparently their fashion sense as well. If the corrosion advances any further and even more weird people will appear, just what in the world will they be wearing? Nothing. Or transparent. Oh dear. It's so scary I can't imagine. Yep, it's terrifying me, you know. What will YouTube think? Seriously, give me a break. Don't make these weird guys increase the number anymore.
そうはいかんぞ。まだまだ増やすぞ。
I suppose, actually it depends on how many you count these as. Do these count as like 4? But they've always been dressing weirdly. I mean, what's this? Like, the frill there as well. Like, why? Why is that needed? And these. I mean, these are the only sanely dressed people. I guess Beatrice is as well, and the these two as well. Cattail. Where is Cattail going?
人間どもの語るクローズドサークルなる間抜けなルールをわらわがいくらでも怪我してやろうぞ。よく来たな。ガープよ。
お久しぶりね、リーチェ。
Beatrice.
お元気だった？というか随分元気そうじゃない。あなた若返った？私が知ってる頃より2、300歳は若々しいわ。ああ、なるほど。
Demon grandfather summoned and introduced his scarf. Took a glance at me, then grinned as though she'd figured something out on her own. That smile felt openly obscene.
レアとの友人らしいな。ってことは輪をかけてろくでもねえやつってわけだ。しかしクローズドサークルがなんとかって言ってやがったが、
I'm gonna
どういう意
guess
味だ？
that's like number of people that can be involved.
今の六軒島のような外界から断絶された場所で起こる連続殺人ミステリーはクローズドサークルとも呼ばれるわ。
I wasn't sure if it was just something we hadn't heard yet or something I'd forgotten from it taking last time reading this being ages ago.
外界からの断絶、つまりは閉じられた輪の世界というわけ。故に登場人物と容疑者は限定されるのが一般的にもかかわらず、新しい容疑者候補が次々に輪の外から追加されていくのはミステリーの作法に反する。つまり人間とミステリーに対する魔女の冒涜ってつもりなんでしょう。
Desecrating the genre itself.
あなたがグレーテル？なるほど。賢い子みたいね。そういう子は好きよ。舌が甘くてとろけるから。
Okay then.
気色悪い。
Yeah.
冗談は服だけにしておいて。デビリッシュプリティの最新作、ジャック・ザ・リッパークリスマスブラッド。
Okay then.
人間界の田舎娘には理解できないセンスでごめんね。通気性がいいのだけは理解できたわ。ついでに頭にも切れ目を入れたら脳みその通気性も良くなるかもね。
ガープは魔界の流行にいつも敏感でな。しかし今年の流行りも実に大胆だ。 わらわも一度ぜひ取り寄せてみるとしよう。
Please don't.
リーチェにはアリグレがおすすめね。アリス&ザ・グレイブヤード。今度一緒に666にお洋服見に行きましょうよ。たまには魔界にもいらっしゃいな。
このゲームを終えたらぜひそうしようぞ。
What do you mean when this game is over? This game's supposed to last forever.
それにしてもリーチェの対戦相手のお二人はなかなか可愛いわ。この子なら頭部半壊死体にどういう意味があるか察しがつきそうね。
Odd, but it's got quotation marks like that.
わかる？お嬢ちゃん。
さっきこいつは一番最初のゲームを思い出せと言ったな。
Yeah, first game it was difficult to identify all the corpses for certain.
どういう意味だ？
言葉通りの意味を。一番最初のゲームの第一の番を思い出して。
Also throws the rest of the people on the island, the survivors, into disarray.
大人たちの死体が魔法陣の描かれた園芸倉庫の中で発見された時のことよ。覚えてる？
Episode 1, The First Twilight. Klaus, Rudolph, Kyrie, Rosa, Shannon, and Gorda. All six of them had their heads pulverized and died.
あの時あそこには2種類の死体があったわ。それは顔面を粉砕された死体と側面を粉砕された死体の2種類。
そうだ。
So ambiguity allows them to have more options available to them. However, then it also allows battlers to have more possibilities of denying.
顔面粉砕はルドルフ、キリエ、ローズ、ゴーダの4人。側頭部粉砕はクラウス、シャノンの2人だ。
Makes them easier to identify. So why is there a difference between the two?
わらわもあの時点では気まぐれに生み出した2種類の死体であったが、
For what reason?
より残忍な死体である前者の方がわらわにとってむしろ不利であることに気づいたのだ。
ベアトにとって不利？そうか、そういうことか。
That's right, the smashed faces might look atrocious, but that made it hard to confirm the identity of each person. Example, at that time, Uncle Klaus and Shannon had their heads half smashed. Actually, no one was atrocious enough, but because half of their faces remained, it was easy to confirm their identities. But Dad and the other three were different. Because the face had been completely destroyed, even I, as a son, could only guess by inference that it had to be Dad because of his clothes and the like. In short, it remained vague until the end whether that really had been Dad's corpse.
第一のゲームの時にも、もしも推理バトルが行われてたなら、俺は多分親父たちの死体を本人確認不能のため偽装死体の可能性もあると主張していたかもしれない。
I would also question not just that, but why the other two were possible to confirm. For what reason?
何しろあのゲームの時にはベアとは一切赤での発言もしていない。
Indeed.
お上手よ。それで正解。
But why smash half of the face,
偽装死はミステリーの基本の一つ。
as opposed to any other version of killing that leaves the identity intact?
たとえ医者に検証させたとしても犯人とグルを疑われればその結果は信用できない。つまり確実な死を保証できない死体は常に魔女サイドを不利にするということ。
Yeah, I mean, they could have a large chunk missing out of their like stomach, around their heart, that you can see straight through.
あらゆる死体について偽装死を疑い、 その後の事件の犯人に想定することができる。
Or like missing half of their body, like what's it called? Not decapitated because that's the head, but cut in half, like sideways, or top and bottom. Anyway.
バトラの嫌う手だけど、魔女に対する最も初歩的な一手ね。
ああ、そうだ。だからベアとは赤を使い出した。赤き真実で完璧な検視を行うようになったんだ。
そういうことだ。本来ならばこの第一の番の惨劇に対し、わらわはすぐにでも赤き真実にてこの度の6人の死亡を確定させるところである。しかし知っての通り、今回のわらわの戦法はこれまでとは正反対に赤き真実の兵糧攻めといったところ。そなたが反撃の拠り所にしようとする以上、わらわは容易には赤を使わぬ。必要最低限の赤にてたった一箇所だけほころびさせればいい。
Just a single place?
つまりわらわは究極的に言えば、そなたのあらゆる密室の推理についてあらゆる暴言を許せども、そのうちの一つをたった一回の赤き真実にて打ち破るだけで良いわけだ。
散々俺をいたぶってきやがったくせに、俺が反撃に使い出したら今度は引っ込めやがったってわけだ。ふざけやがってよ。
とにかく赤を使いたくない。けっちりたい。バトラをいじめてやりたい。
Forgot about that voice.
しかし赤を使わずに確実なる死を保証するにはどうすればよいのか。
How do you guarantee a closed room?
わらわは悩みに悩んだわけだ。そのアイデアをガープがくれた。実に簡単な方法だったのだ。
Yeah, smashing half of the faces.
当たり前なことを言ったらリーチがひらめいただけよ。私は誰にでも容易に身元の判別と完全なる死が理解できる死体を用意すればいいと言っただけ。
つまりはその2つを合体させたわけよ。身元の判別に必要な顔と完全なる死の象徴である魂の器たる頭部の粉砕。この2つを左右ぴったりきれいに合体させたら、あら不思議、この頭部半壊死体がパーフェクトであるという答えが出たわけだ。
There's other ways of having confirmed deaths while leaving rest like enough to be identifiable intact.
お前絶対2色パンとか2色アイスが好きだろ。欲張りな子供市民丸出しだぜ。
いずれにせよ、
Neapolitan ice cream is just the epitome of greediness, right?
たとえ頭部が半壊していたとしても、現時点では彼らが死んだとみなすべきではないわ。
分かってる。ベアトがもったいぶって赤での宣言を拒む以上、全ては疑ってかかるべきだ。
People have survived brain injuries, but yeah.
もちろんシエスタの太もも姉ちゃんたちの魔法殺人だって鵜呑みになんか絶対しねえぜ。
本当に慎重になったこと。最初のゲームの頃だったなら何でもかんでも鵜呑みにしてくれていたのにね。
公的書はこうでなくては面白くないというものよ。今は赤がないことを幸いに自由な想像を広げ、好きに推理を重ねるがいい。一番最後、一番美味しいところでバッサリと赤き真実にて叩き切ってくれようぞ。
I just had a funny idea. Battler ends up solving the riddle. Now Battler has to do with the fact that maybe he's the culprit. the chapter. Secret World of Witches. Silent. Black. Cold. Painful. Rosa regained consciousness bit by bit. And the first thing she thought was that it would have been better if she hadn't. After all, with her body this cold and hurting, the pain grew the more her consciousness returned. Felt like she'd been sleeping on ice cold marble in the darkness, lying face down for a long time. Ah, this is why I always tell myself, even if it's just for a nap, I've got to at least grab a sofa. I know that, if I naively try to close my eyes for just a second, and end up sleeping on the floor or in the study chair, it will hurt my body later and make things difficult. Since I slept on such a cold and hard floor, even my bones are ice cold. Since I slept on such a hard and cold floor, the half of my face pressed down against it hurts a lot. Again, half of the face is coming up again. If I were to look in the mirror right now, I'm sure I'd see an embarrassing mark. I don't think that just rubbing it would make that mark disappear. But I stroked the hurting side of my face anyway, trying to smooth it over. I wonder where this is. I thought it was pitch black, but it looks like it isn't. After all, I can faintly see my own body. Without a doubt, there was some source of light. But even if I looked up at the ceiling, or else the sky, there was only an expanse of blackness. I couldn't see a proper light. My body alone was slightly lit, whereas everything else was sunk in darkness. That's what this world was like. It was almost as though Rosa alone had been abandoned in a forgotten world. As her mind grew clearer, she started getting nervous about why she was all alone in a lonely place like this. Alone. When she was about to call out, asking if anyone was there, she heard the patter-patter of footsteps coming towards her. They were light footsteps, so she thought it was probably a kid. Didn't sense anything disturbing, so she wasn't afraid. Let's see. My guess, if it's supposedly in the witch world, is Bone Castell. If it weren't, they also weren't Maria's footsteps. So, wondering who in the world would be in a darkness like this, he stared in the direction the footsteps were coming from. Actually, alternatively, what's her name? Angie. Yeah, she did a faint approaching silhouette came into view. Oh, okay. Satoko. No, not Satoko. Sakutaro. Sakuto's the wrong game. Interesting though how similar those names are. Anyway, it looked like a child much younger than Maria. Who is it? I don't know this kid. The expression on his face was like a lost child separated from his parents. As a parent of the daughter herself, Rosa felt as though her chest had been torn apart.
Uryu.
Denying your creation? The instant the kid muttered that infantile word, she felt pain in the half of her face that had started hurting from the cold floor, as though it had been pierced by a long, thin, hard needle. By long, thin, hard needles, plural. Without thinking, she pressed her hand against that side of her face.
大丈夫？まだ痛い？
ありがとう、僕。ここはどこ？すごく寒いわ。
こっちへ来て。ここにいちゃいけない。
That child took my other hand and pulled with a grim expression on his face. Rosa didn't have a clue what was going on. However, a single honest expression on a child. can often tell the truth better than 100 words from an adult. She didn't know the situation, but even so, she dashed along with him, still being pulled. Perhaps Rosa solves the riddle this time? You know she almost did last game. But this was a world where nothing could be seen in the darkness except for their own forms. Didn't even really feel like she was moving forwards. Even though she was running, she couldn't feel any wind. It was as though she was still inside a nightmare, that kind of unreal sensation. Even though I ran, I couldn't maintain my sense of balance, and my legs got tangled and I fell. Even in a world that didn't feel real, the pain of smashing my face against the cold, hard floor was reality itself.
ウリュウ、大丈夫？
Doorway?
ごめんなさいね。頭が痛むの。
When the kid said that infantile word, Uryu, pain like being stuck with needles ran through my head again. Even though it had only happened twice, I was somehow able to understand the child's word was the cause of my pain. I said so frankly.
ごめんなさい。その、ウリュウという口癖をやめてもらえる？ウリュウ。ちょっとやめてって言ってるでしょ。ごめんなさい。
I had the feeling that this child's apology caused a sharp pain in my forehead this time. What is this child? I know there's no malice in him, but when I'm around this child, my head hurts.
大丈夫？早く行こう。ここは行っちゃダメ。どうしてここに行っちゃダメなの？
This is not a world for the living?
ねえ、ここはどこ？あなたは誰？あなたのママはどこ？僕を作ってくれたのはママだよ。
That child stared at me with round eyes. This kid's mama is me? You? Who is this kid? I don't remember at all.
僕のこと忘れちゃった？
Yep.
ママが僕を作ったんだよ。ちょっと冗談はやめて。私の子供はマリアだけよ。そう。マリアはどこ？マリアはどこなの？マリア！
Suddenly grew nervous about Maria not being there. Why am I all alone in a place like this? Where's Maria? I'm only able to be me because Maria is there for me.
マリアはいるけど、今はマリアじゃない。
Oh?
今は会わない方がいいの。その方がママのためだし、マリアのためなの。マリアのためにも逃げて。え？何を言ってるの？マリアはどこ？マリア！返事をして！マリアに見つかっちゃう。早くこっちに来て、ママ！
That child pulled on my hand again. It was probably pulling me in the opposite direction from Maria. I stopped walking.
話してよ。だいたいあなたは誰よ？あなたにママなんて言われる覚えはないわよ。僕を作ってくれたのはママだよ。忘れちゃったの？マリアのバースデープレゼントにするために僕を手作りしてくれたの忘れちゃったの？マリアの作太郎。うん。ママに作ってもらったライオンのぬいぐるみだよ。
A fierce, sharp pain struck me. It came from the palm he had grasped with his hand. When I knocked his hand away without thinking and looked at my palm, All the size of a thumb had opened there, and deep red blood gushed out. Oh, fun. It was a hole so big that I could see through to the other side. Uh-huh.
大丈夫？大丈夫？どうしたの？
Sekataro noticed my wound and panicked. As far as I could tell by looking at him, he couldn't understand why my hand had sustained a serious injury. But in my eyes, it felt like I'd been injured because he'd grabbed my hand. Regardless of whether there was malice in him, I understood that this child was something that would do harm to me, and he instantly seemed eerie.
あっちへ行って。あなたなんか知らないわ。作太郎は気持ち悪い下手くそなぬいぐるみでしょ。私は知らないわよ。ママなんかじゃないわよ。あっちへ行って。消えて。
And on that note, I'll be ending it there for today. I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.